Welcome to another Top 5 here at MacGuffinPodcast.com. I am Brandi.
And I'm Allen.
And today we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about our top 5 favorite action films.
We're going to be talking about all the things that go boom in this one.
Yeah. Explosions.
Yes, we like explosions.
All right. And there's a lot of that type of thing in my number 5 movie, which is, in my opinion, the only good movie Michael Bay has ever done, and that is The Rock. Which is just, I mean, it's over the top and crazy, but I mean, you know, Nicolas Cage in one of his most fun performances for me, playing off of Sean Connery, some really choice dialogue, and you know, they're fun together, and as ludicrous as the plot is, it's really awesome too.
Ed Harris in it also as
yes.
the good bad guy.
Yes.
Right, yes. Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Michael Bay, but The Rock is awesome.
Yeah, isn't it?
Great action scenes, like you said.
Right now.
Like you said, a lot of, you know, great dialogue between
winners
Sean
go home
Connery.
And fuck the prom queen.
Exactly. She was the prom queen.
Oh.
Yes.
That's great.
That's great. Yes, great movie. Let's move on. All right. So my number 5 film is actually a martial art film starring Jackie Chan from 1994, and it is Drunken Master 2.
I think I've been berated by you for not having seen this before.
Released in the States as Legend of the Drunken Master. This film, to me, is probably Jackie Chan at his peak. Every action scene in this film could be the climax of any other martial art films. I mean, you have Jackie Chan fighting a dude under a train. You have Jackie Chan fighting a dude in like... Jackie Chan fighting like a whole bunch of guys in this tea house. When you think of like the scene where he fights all these guys with axes in the tea house, just blows away the Crazy 88 scene in Kill Bill. I mean, if you think that scene was great, you need to watch this movie. It's a lot of fun. It's really, really intense action-wise. I mean, I can't say anything more about the film. You really need to check it out.
All right, I will.
Yes.
I will check it out. All right. My number 4 is sort of action comedy spoof thing going on from 2007, and that is Hot Fuzz.
Right.
Which I think is great because it spoofs action movies, and then it also has some pretty awesome action sequences there at the end as well. And I think this movie is a friggin' masterpiece, actually.
It's awesome.
Like, it is just... There's nothing wrong with it. It is so good.
I just love near the end, like that climax scene where they go all Michael Bay and everything, and like they fight all these dudes that you wouldn't even expect. Like everyone they fight are like a grandma or like a priest or like some guy who runs like a flower shop or something like that. It's like
they've built to it so well that you just go with it.
It's awesome. It's a great movie. I want to watch that right now.
Yeah,
actually.
I mean, honestly, like I'm gonna have a marathon of these.
Yes. All right. Moving on to my number 4 pick. My number 4 pick is from 1994. It features Keanu Reeves, and it is Speed.
Nice.
A classic action film. When you think of Speed, you think of the bus, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you also got to admit that beginning scene on the elevator is awesome. You know, they're trying to like take everyone out of the elevator just before it like crashes, and then there's also the end at the subway, right? And then. Again, another classic scene from that film. You have, again, Keanu Reeves, Dennis Hopper as the thumbless bad guy, popping a quiz to Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock, before she became America's sweetheart, as a love interest.
First big roles.
Yep, great sequences. It's, great movie.
It is a great movie.
Yep.
All right, my number 3 is one that is a little bit sort of... Realistic is not the right word. It's low-key in its action, but it has some very, very cool action-y sequences, and that is from 2002, and that is The Bourne Identity. I love the Bourne movies. I absolutely love them, and I think you can definitely make an argument that The Bourne Supremacy is actually a better film, but I think this is still my favorite just because I was so into it when it came out. I just... Like, the action sequences are stuff where it's like... oh, I'm gonna tear this map off the wall and then I'm gonna go up to the roof and I'm gonna climb down the wall. Like, to me, like, I'll take a great explosion helicopter crazy scene any day, but that is a different kind of mind-blowing because you can see it all happening.
Right.
And, you know, great car chase sequence, and gunfire sequences that seem like how people would actually fire guns in real life if they needed to fire a gun.
Yeah.
Great fights.
Yeah,
Really
great
great
fights. The great thing about that film is that that Matt Damon doesn't know how he's doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
he's got this
I'm
bewildered
just
look on
going
his
to beat
face
up
while
this
he's
dude for
doing
no
it.
reason.
Yeah.
Oh, I know all the exits out of this place.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to climb this wall. It's really cool.
I love that
really
movie.
Cool. Yeah.
Love it.
My number 3 pick is again another classic action film. You got to give it to James Cameron when you talk about action films. This one is from 1991, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it is Terminator 2.
Excellent film.
Just, I mean, what can you say about this movie that hasn't already been said, right? Great concept. It's one of the sequels that, to me, surpasses the original. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger in his iconic role. Linda Hamilton
so
making a
badass.
complete 180 from her character from the first film. You know, Edward Furlong squeaking after every 5 words that he says in film, right? That dude squeaks a lot, man, in that movie. And, of course, you have Robert Patrick as, to me, one of the
so
scariest
scary,
villains in the
scary.
T-1000.
Yeah.
You just can't stop that guy. Again, I mean, what else can you say? It's an incredible movie.
Yeah,
so.
it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of James Cameron and Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Hello.
My number 2 is True Lies, which I've talked about my love for this one before when we did our favorite remakes top 5. If there's an option to watch True Lies over like another activity, I'm probably gonna pick watching True Lies. Like, I just really
True Lies, meet the president. True Lies.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, Obama, but True Lies is starting on TBS in 10 minutes. I really would just rather watch that with the editing and the commercials and everything.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, you know, this one is a personal favorite of mine as well. It was really close to making it on this list. Just so funny. The action's so great. I mean, we've already talked about it. It's a great movie.
Yeah,
so. Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, when you have a guy that jumps off a roof on a motorcycle and lands in a pool, I mean, how can you not like that, right? Anyway.
Everything is great.
Moving on to my number 2 pick. My number 2 pick is from 1988. It stars Bruce Willis in probably his best role, and it is Die Hard. John McClane, one of the great action heroes of all time. You know, I mean, I don't even know where to start with this movie. I mean, it's so awesome. Bruce Willis as this guy who's just wanting to hang out with his wife during Christmas, and he gets stuck in this tower. Unfortunately, a bunch of terrorists comes in and hijacks the place.
Yeah.
I like the little detail that they put in with him not having any shoes. I think that's pretty awesome.
I mean, it totally underscores the reason why John McClane is so awesome is that even when he doesn't really have much to work with, he's so relentless.
Yes.
You know, like that's the number one thing about him.
You know, Alan Rickman, Hans Gruber, one of the coolest bad guys ever. I mean, great lines, great sequences in film. I mean, there's points, you know, where he's stuck in the shaft, where he breaks through the window. I mean, it's just
great.
Crazy. Yeah.
All right. Well, my number 1 is actually one that you already mentioned, and I was pretty nonchalant about it at the time, but it's actually one of my favorite films of all time, and that is Speed.
Yes. All right.
Honestly, I've seen Speed so many times. It is almost embarrassing if I could be embarrassed about how much I love Speed. It was I think one of the reasons why I love it so much is because it was the first rated R movie that I was like allowed to own. And actually, I remember recording it off of HBO and being like, yes, you know. I think it was 12 when it was out. And taking it to like my friends' houses to watch illicitly, whose parents would not let them watch it. Many a sleepover, we watched Speed.
Quick FYI
honestly,
on the film.
I
Me
love
and my
it.
friends, or my friend in particular, loved that film so much that he knew every single detail about that film. He knew what floor the guys went up to
Oh
save
my
the people in
God.
the elevator. He knew what time the bus was hijacked. Randy,
Man.
I'm talking about you, man.
There's some kind of like making of special that I think I watched. Like it was on when the show was on. Like it was like one of those DVD on TV things. It wasn't even on a DVD extra
Yeah.
where they show how they did the like bus jump sequence,
Yeah.
and they show from like 4 different angles because they could only film it once. And like I don't know,
it's a
I will
great-
nerd out for that movie.
Yeah,
like,
it's
I think
awesome.
I think it's
awesome.
so great.
Yeah. All right, let's go to my number one pick. My number one pick is probably one of my all-time favorite films as well. It's directed by Steven Spielberg. It stars Harrison Ford, and it is Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, every moment in this film to me is a classic. I mean, you can even talk about that first sequence with the gold idol has become, I mean, part of movie lore.
Oh, totally.
Harrison Ford, Indy, is one of the iconic characters of all time. Karen Allen, so spunky. Right? So scrappy.
Something, yeah.
yeah. Able to keep up with
She's
Indy.
badass, yeah.
She's
Another
hardcore
lady
in that.
badass.
It's funny, it's intense, it's suspenseful, and I mean, yeah, it's just a great
Isn't
movie.
that another one that you've written about on the site?
That's right. Yes, I actually wrote about that piece on
Yeah.
MacGuffinPodcast.com that
Yeah.
you should check out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that
Great.
does it.
I'm ready
Yeah.
for a movie marathon. This is
Yeah,
a fun one.
let's watch these movies right now.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any action films that you want to share, please let us know on MacGuffinPodcast.com.
Yes.
And we will catch you guys next time.